Death Parade was a very emotional anime experience for me. It made me think about a story. Well, experience a story as a viewer just in a different way because it's never been told that way, at least not for me. It was very deep. And if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to say too much. Just it's very unique. But I will say this. The soundtrack is 10 out of 10. The music is so good. You could watch it for that alone. For me, reacting to it in Patreon was a serious treat. I enjoyed it so much. So we do need to feature some of the music from the soundtrack here in the channel. This first one we're going to do outside of openings and endings, of course. This first one is literally called Death Parade. It's so good. Hearing that just brings you back. It's Yuki Hayashi just giving us compositional gold. But why? Why does this piece sound so... It pulls you in immediately. And in my opinion, it's for this reason. It's because the bass player has the melody right away. I've uploaded almost 400 videos on this channel. None of them open up with the bass player having the melody. Most music, the bassist doesn't have the melody, and it sounds so great in the song. Now, you might be asking, well, why is that? Well, the role of the bass, it's a rhythm section instrument that generally moves by root harmonic foundations through the chord, and slight arpeggios here and there, just outlining. That's the job of the bass player. But here we have an upright bassist, and the tone already is beautiful because it's a fretless instrument, so we get kind of like a nasally sound, and it can move around with a little bit of vibrato and just like tiny like little glissandos and stuff. It's just the nature of how great it sounds, but it's being featured against vibes, percussion instrument, accordion like guitar instrument, and just slight elements of other music, and it's so chill. And the melody is so spatial. So with all that in mind, let's listen to this chunk of the opening again and just listen to how great it is to feature a bassist. It's so good. So you can hear how wonderful that works against everything else. Now, in the show, in the anime, I definitely have not heard a 5.5 minute version of this song. So a lot of this is going to be new, but that is the main, that's like in my opinion, that is the famous chunk that pulls you in and pulls at your heartstrings. So I'm very curious where we go from here, how much of that theme is continued and what augmentations maybe or maybe do not happen. Let's find out. Oh yeah. The saxophone. I do remember this. That's a gorgeous sound. Did you hear the chimes right there in that transition? Now, why is it that the saxophone is like reserved to, if I was to like go down the street, this is like a great video content idea. If I like walk down the street and now it's like 100 people, it wouldn't be, that's too many. We filmed 25 people. Like, what comes to mind when I ask you about saxophone? I would imagine most of them would either talk about a meme or they talk about jazz because that's the biggest like association we have with that instrument. Unfortunately, maybe they'd think about their friends in like high school pep band or high school marching band or something like that. But I feel like that instrument is typecast into so many corners, and this is a great example of a piece that is kind of like coloring over the lines, if you will, because do you hear how cool that percussion beat is? It's like super fuzzy and digital, but then we have like this really like kind of soul sounding like throwback saxophone sound. It's gorgeous. We're at 55. Let's just go back a little bit. Just check out the percussion versus saxophone roll here. So cool. It's a nice groove. It's almost like a slow old school cadence, but you put this other elements on top of it and it totally changes the feel. Now, the other like sex appeal of this music, when I don't literally mean sex appeal, but like in the music, yes, I do. It's the strings against that saxophone sound. It's just so good. Like, make this popular again, man. Throw away auto-tune, throw away all the pitch correction, throw away the mainstream French fries, bro. Get me more of this. Like, this is such a nice sound. Back a couple seconds. Let's keep going. Beautiful. That was a cool little segment there. We double up. We have two saxophones harmonizing with each other. What do we pull away? Of course, the percussion. We see that we talk about it all the time here. It's such an easy way to remove an element and just focus on everything else, and the listener is pulled back in, because chances are they were zoning out and appreciating how gorgeous the sax and the strings were. But you're going to bring it right back with that. And it's really good because the way it flowed through the chord progression was really, really nice. It was very attractive to listen to. Back five. Well, I have some elements of harp there too. It could have been harp, but also could have been piano. It felt like harp though. And I kind of had forgotten about the string bass for a second because we're so hyper-focused on other parts, but it's kind of interesting now to hear boom, 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 boom. Now it's really playing its traditional role, where in the beginning, it just like, it snatched you with it playing the melody. So again, shout out to our composer here. Very, very, very good uses of writing. Let's continue. Cool string stuff there. Wow. How long is that going to ring? That was the did you hear that chunky distorted guitar? Just like 4 bars long. That was amazing. Just rang there. And that I was expecting to come back, but it did not. So now we approach more of a hybrid with jazz. We're a little bit fusioning to a jazz side because this is a bass feature now. This is no longer a melody. This is an improvised solo, right? And you can hear a guitarist in the background with volume fades in and out. So now we're bridging even further. Oh, God, it gives me so many tingles. I don't have enough hours in the day, but the first thing when I start hearing this, I'm like, oh, I need to watch it again. And that's probably something I will I imagine fans of anime, that's something you probably say all the time. You hear the music, like, oh, I got to see it again. But who has the time? Because we're always pushing forward. But I don't know, man. This is such a good one. What I need to do is find a friend and be like, hey, I need to show you a show. And that'll be my excuse. So anyway, the point was we're bridging genres of music here now. And the bass now, again, has another role. Melody in the beginning, then traditional, and now we're improvising. And remember, improvisation is different than a melody because that's the elements of a completely different thing. Here we go. Wow. Double stop. Nice. Really great writing between vibes, guitar, bass and other little effects there. That was just amazing. Wow, what a see the fusion elements here, man. And fusion just means honestly just fusing together different genres of music that aren't they're not normally interlocked. And that was great to have that handoff. Same melody, you heard it in saxophone, you heard it in violin first, strings, then it's handed off to saxophone, and then it's like decorated with light piano. It's just, this is so great. Back five. Chimes again. Bring back the groove. That was very climactic. So that melody, that phrase, we had multiple instruments playing it, and obviously the build dynamically, meaning the volume, the overall perceived intensity of sound kept building. Why? We're like kind of just rotating, and it's not really around, but almost, if that makes sense. So those players are all taking the same note decorations and just kind of spinning them against each other, and that's how you get that. It's very, when done correctly like that, it's very successful. All right, we're almost to the end. Let's let it play out. Wow. That gets me emotional listening to that. Wow. That is it. 10 out of 10. That is a 10 out of 10 piece of music. Please, that's just what I think. Sorry, this is a soundtrack list here on YouTube. Anyway, it's a great piece. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. Thank you. My name is DrumRollTony. If you'd like to see my Death Parade reactions, they're on the Patreon. Link for that is down in the video description below. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. YouTube thinks you should watch this video next. Please and thank you. Click the like button, subscribe to the channel. Have a great day. Take it easy. Bye-bye.